Hello and welcome. How are you doing today? I am doing today very well. And today I am planning to show you that how I disassemble this Toyota engines, Toyota VVT-i engines piston. And here is this piston. What I have took away in this engine block area. And what are these pistons part? This part is in here is connection rod, and this bar's idea is that this bar connects this piston area to this crankshaft. And also in here, when we look in here, this is this crankshaft bearing, and now it's moving in there, and there is important that we don't mix these bearing parts. And now I take this bearing part away, and it's important to remember that in what way this part goes back. And there is idea that when you look in there, there is hole, and there is also hole in this area, and this is oil hole, and this oil goes through these small holes to that bearing area. And in that model there is nice small shape in here, and it fits in this hole in here, and this is easy to remember. Okay, and this was this bearing area, and then when we start to deassemble this piston, first step is that of course we start to deassemble this piston rings, and in that Toyota engine there is 1, 2, 3 piston rings. This is the first one, then this second, and then this one is the last one. And these first two are like pressure rings, and their meaning is that they keep this when spark plugs gives fire in here, and then this big force kicks this piston in down. That these two rings keeps this pressure in here, and then this last one, what is a little bit wider, this is oil ring. And this idea is that when here is oil moving and spraying in this area, all of these areas, and in here it keeps that this oil that this oil don't go in this fire area, and this is important thing. And then when we look in there is a little bit corrosion in this area, and this means that there at least this fire has been going here and also a little bit in here. Okay, and then when we start to take those piston rings out, there is idea that we can start in this area or then in this area, not in this center area. And first I think that we take this pressure ring out, and there is small hole in here, and then this piston ring is also moving nicely when I move that in this way. And then I do so that when this ring is moving, I press my finger in here, and then this ring is in here, and then I little bit bend that in here, and also in a little bit in here, and then I only start to carefully move that in this position, and this is the final step, and this goes out nicely. And these rings are really important when we think this car power output, because if these rings are worn out and they are really thin, then our motor don't do or don't generate this full power. And it's good if you like to do small car engine repair. Is only when we replace these piston rings, then this motor can be much more better and more powerful. Okay, and this was this first ring, and then this next one is also this pressure ring, and I rotate that also, and I like to find this hole. It is in there, and then I a little bit move my tubes in that way, and this is this first, and I start to little bit move that up in there, and now I notice that this is more difficult to move, and I think that I moved that first in this first row in here. This is second. Then I take that, and there's only risk that we could broken this ring. And then it's gone. Okay, a little bit move that. Okay, and now we are in this almost in the second line. Okay, now we are in this first line, sorry, and then I do again this thing that I rotate this, and now this goes away, and these rings should be similar, and these are parts what we can purchase in Toyota dealership, and of course some other parts, but I recommend that if I do this piston replace, that I purchase this part in Toyota dealership. Then I can be guaranteed that these parts are made in Japan, because normally Toyota does these all components, those engine components in Japan. Okay, and then there is this final part, and this is this oil ring, and there where I looked at where is this hole, and now I think that there is a small hole. Okay. Okay, and I have, by the way, small screwdrivers what I am using, and now okay, this is interesting. There is a small hole, and okay, and now this opens a little bit. Okay, and this is flexible. This is flexible, and then I use this second screwdriver, and I insert. Okay, there is this oil ring. Okay, this is interesting, flexible. Now this ring moves. And I rotate this in a full line. Okay, and there is this oil ring. Okay. Okay, interesting. Okay, there is that one, and then those two parts what are in here. there is this support these rings, and carefully I move those rings. There is first and then this. There is the second. Okay, and these rings meaning was that they keep this oil ring in shape. Oil ring. And this is like one part oil ring. There are those oil rings, and here are those pressure rings, and here is this piston. Okay, and then when we look those holes, I take a little bit paper and I clean that piston. And when we look in there inside, there are small holes in there. And this meaning is that this oil goes in those small holes in there. And now when we compare those lines, this is quite wider hole than these first ones. Okay, and then we have this connection rod, and we need to take that out also, and there is small pin in that area, and when we rotate that, it is in here, in opposite side in there, and when I move that, okay, now it seems to be, I try this other side, there is this small, this in this hole, this metallic okay, and this looks thick. So I insert this tool in there, okay, and now it is in here. Okay, and it was fast, and I recommend that we use eye glasses, those protective glasses, because this can hurt in this eye. Okay, and here is this ring, what belongs in here. Okay, and now I clean a little bit my fingers. It's always, and there is this metallic pin. What place is in here, and this pin's purpose is that it keeps this top, this metallic bolt in here inside. And now I think that when I take this one out, we have chance to move this top, or then I believe that this top could be quite thick, because there is no any variances or tolerance. I think that this is pressurize this top, and we need to little bit use this hammer or some other tool, and I think that I insert that in here, and then I have here one wooden plate, and I insert this, because I like that this tab goes out in this way. I insert that in here, in this way, and then I little bit then I little bit hammer this top, and I use this tool, like in this. I have a small socket what fits in here there, and then I take my hammer. There is my hammer, and then I little bit hammer this part. Okay, and this top it moved, and it's now there. A little bit more hammering carefully. Okay, and now it's in here, and a little bit more. I need something else in here. Okay, then I have here a couple of metallic plates, and I insert this in here, and then I insert that side, only this side in here against this metallic plate carefully in this way. Now this hole can go through in that way, and then this part now, then a little bit hammering. Okay, what happened? And it is a little bit upper, and I think that I can use some socket, and I insert this again in here, and I insert that plate in this corner, that this top is free to come out. Okay. Okay, now it's in there, and then this in here, and then okay, and this top is so far away, and then I insert this top in here, and then I carefully hammer this piston. And okay, carefully okay, and it is so. Then I need a little bit bigger socket. Okay, I have here that kind of socket, and I insert this little bit bigger. Okay, it fits in there, and then okay, and now it goes more, and I am trying to find in any. This goes nicely, and then carefully and I'm happy because I think that this piston is still okay, and now this top is so far away, and okay, it is so far away. Okay, and this looks good, and then carefully, and I keep this system in my hand. Okay, now it's so far away. and soon it is open. Okay, now this is okay. Now this is fine. Okay, and now here is this crankshaft. Sorry, this connection rod. And when we look in this connection rod, there is also a hole that oil can go in this bearing area, and this is bearing metal. And this is connection rod. Okay, and then we look this piston, and now I have tapped this piston. What is this? Mine support bolt. What is this? What connect this piston to this connection rod? Okay, and now I have disassembled this piston and here are all parts what there was. This is this mine piston, and we can purchase new pistons if we like to do our engine better. And these pistons, if we purchase these prices, I estimate that they are something like 50 to 100 or even more US dollar per piece. But then we have good engine if we purchase new one, because these pistons, these burn out more than those this cylinder head block. And if we change pistons, this motor becomes faster. And there was this small metallic pin what belongs in here, and actually there's another in that side. And then we have this connection rod, and normally these connection rods we don't need to purchase new one if these tolerances are okay, because then this can last long. But then there are those piston rings, and this is like if we have a small budget, we could also purchase only these piston rings, and then we can get in this our engine more power and also less this oil consumption, something like I estimate to 10 to 1000 miles more. This is like a small help. If we replace only piston rings, we could purchase only these. But if we purchase new piston and then of course piston rings, then this motor is almost, I think that 85% similar to new motor. It's my estimation. Okay, and there is of course this piston name SMP, and there could be, is there anything else? Okay, there is in this bottle there bottom there is number 10. Okay, and by the way, all of these parts are workable and we can reuse and it's especially interesting when I assemble this oil rings back. Okay, and this was this information, and thank you very much for watching and we continue.